In this video, we'll talk about wire apex method. So we already know there are two ways to connect apex in LWC. First is the wire apex method. The second one is the call apex method imperatively. So we are looking into the first approach, that is wire apex method. And in wire apex method also we have two ways to fetch the data. First is the by property and the second by function. So the syntax is similar to our wire we already have seen with the adapters. So here first we import the method from the apex package and we'll pass the class name and the method. Once the method name is available, we'll call @wire and pass the apex method name. And if you want to pass some parameters, you can pass it in the object format. And if not, you can ignore this and you will receive your response either by property or by function. So either way you can catch your response. And the important things to remember here, I already mentioned in the note, if a parameter value is null, the method is called, but if the value is undefined, the method isn't called. Just remember this difference. In JavaScript, null and undefined are two different things. In other programming it may be same, but in JavaScript it's totally a different thing. So let's go and see our first approach, that is wire an apex method to a property. So I'm going to the same component that we created earlier, that is wire demo. So in the previous video we just import the apex method, that was get account list. Now we're gonna use the wire service to fetch the data. So first we will import the wire, then we'll say @wire and pass the method name. Here we don't have parameters to pass, so we'll keep the second argument empty, so you don't need to do anything here. And now if we have to demonstrate as property, we have to give the property name, and the property name we can say accounts. So once the response comes, it will store into a property accounts. So let's go to our HTML and create some templates. So I'll create a card and giving a heading apex wire to property demo, and within that I have created a div that just gives some padding around the card. And now we'll write our logic. First thing, we'll check whether our data is available or not using if true directive, and we'll say accounts.data is there or not. If it's available, accounts is a property that we are using with the wire. If the data is available, then load the content between this, and we'll say we'll create a div, we'll say slds box, slds hyphen box underscore x hyphen small. So I'm creating a box with the slds classes, and we'll say because the data will be in the array form, so we have to use for each loop. So I'll say template for each accounts.data, run the loop on the accounts on the data, and for item make it account. And once the loop runs, then create the box, and that box should have a key, and in between this what we're gonna do is we're gonna print the data that's gonna come. And how we get to know what data is coming, you can look into the class we are calling in id, name, type and industry. So these four things gonna come, and if I copy this and come back to the HTML, you can see if I paste it here, id I'm already using it. So we'll say strong tag is used for giving the boldness to a text. I'll say name and here I'll say account.name. These two are done. Then I'll just copy this p tag 2 more times and I'll say type, and it will print account.type, and the industry it will print account.industry. So now it fetch the method, will pass the method to a wire will call the method and bring the data will store in the property accounts, and accounts we are checking and loading the data on the screen, and it will print on the screen. So let's deploy it, but before deploying we have to do some configuration change in the meta file. So we'll set the targets, and in the target we'll pass web page, and let's deploy this whole. So now just make sure we are deploying Apex wire demo component. Along with that we are deploying our class as well. So if I increase this, you will see we are deploying the controller as well as the component that we have created. So let's go to our org. So I'm in my org, in the app 0 to hero. I have created a new app page Apex in LWC. So let's go and edit the page and place our component here. And here we'll search Apex wire demo. I'll place into the first section. I'll hit save. Let's go back. And now you can see that it loads the data in the box form, and it has name, type, industry, and it's bringing the first 5 data, because in our Apex class, if you see, we have limit the data to a 5, and we are calling ID, name, type, and industry. And now you can see it's able to bring the data and render the data very smoothly. So this is the first approach to bring the data, that is like by property. Let's see wire to a function demo. So let's go back to our VS Code, and let's create the another, go back to our JS file. Let's create another wire, and this time what we're gonna do is we'll call the same method, but we have a requirement that whenever your type name is customer channel, show on the screen only channel. If it is direct, show direct, because if you see the data here, right, we are showing the type full customer, direct, and customer channel, but there is a requirement we have to transform the data. Okay, and transformation they want is whenever the customer channel comes as a type on the screen, it should show only channel, and whenever it comes customer direct, it should show direct, and if it comes empty, just show hyphen hyphen hyphen, multiple hyphens. Okay, so let's go and create wire as function. So pass the method name, and actually the real use case of wire as function is whenever you want to transform the data. That's why I have taken this example, and I create a method name here, or my function name here is accounts handler. It will receive data as well as error, and I'll say if data is there, perform something here. If error is there, just perform something here. We'll say console.error, will console the error here, and when the data comes, we want to store the data in a property. I'll call it as account list. So account list a property I'm creating on the top. It's not initialized, so it means it's undefined by default, and I'll say this dot account list equal to, and now we're going to transform the data. We'll say data dot map, each object in the data is an item now, and I'll say let new type equal to, whenever the item dot type equal to, I'll go here and copy this customer channel is equal to customer channel, then change it to channel only. Otherwise, this is a ternary operator. Copy this again, and I'll say whenever it's direct, show it only direct. Otherwise, it just show hyphens. Now we create a new property here, new type. We want to add this new type to our array of object, that is accounts, and we'll say return all the fields as it is in the object and add a new property, new type. And now it's update our data with the new type property and store into a account list. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna run the loop on the account list. So I'll just copy the whole card again. I'll change this to apex wire to function demo. And what we can do here is we are storing the data in the account list. So we'll just say first check whether the account list is there or not using if true. If it's there, run the loop on the account list and do the same thing, like run the loop on the account list. Each object is an account, render account.item, account.name, account.type. Instead of account.type, what we want is new type this time. We'll say on the screen show new type, but the text should be typed to a user. And let's keep the industry as it is. So let's deploy this now. So now it's deployed. Let's go to our app, press the page. So in the property demo, the type is customer direct and customer channel only. Let's see in the function. Now in the function, you say first one, like here it's direct instead of customer direct. Here also it's direct, here it's channel instead of customer channel. Right now we don't have any blank one, otherwise it would have shown hyphen hyphen hyphen. So these are the two ways by which we can call the wire apex method. First is the by property and the second one is by a function. And that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next video.